Welcome to lecture 22. We're going to embark on a series of short lectures looking at some of the problems with C and some of the solutions that C++ suggests. I'll be using date as kind of the object that we have in mind. How do we create a date structure in C? How do we create a date class and date objects in C++? And I'll be borrowing heavily from the C++ creator, Bjarne Stroustrup, I can never pronounce his name, in his book, Programming Principles and Practice Using C++ Second Edition. In Chapter 9, he addresses user-defined types, which is really what classes and objects are. And so C has the ability to create user-defined type. So let me do date.c, and I'll quickly create a user-defined type. And so we're interested in a date, so I'll create a struct with a date tag, and then think about a date being month, day, year, month 1 through 12, day 1 through 31, year could be any number of things. And so we'll just say int month, int day, int year. And then we want to later create variables of this, and which I could do simply by saying struct, use the date tag again, and then create a variable called today. But I haven't really defined a new type. I've really created a structure. And so to take it one step further in C, there's a type def keyword where I can take struct date and then make a new type name. So like char, int, float, when we were creating a integer variable, we'd say int, but now with the type def, I'm able to create a new variable of date type today. It's just a little bit of syntactic trickery, but that's how you would create a user-defined type in C. So now that we have our date structure, one of the problems that keeps coming up for programmers in C is that what happens if you now use the date, but you've forgotten to initialize it? And so we can print this date and say today is, and that'll be for the month. This will be for the day, whoops, and this will be for the year. And then to access today's fields, because it's a structure, we would say today.m for month, today.d for day, and today.y for year. Okay, so we can go out and we can compile this and run it, and you see we get a bogus date because we forgot to initialize it. Now, that in this little toy program, that probably seems ridiculous. Well, it's obvious that I forgot to initialize the date, but when you're dealing with libraries and dealing with larger programs that you work on over many hours or days or weeks, and other people work on it with you, sometimes you'll forget to initialize it, and then you have a program that runs that's not correct, that could actually pass some tests and get out into the field, and that's really what we're trying to avoid as programmers as we move beyond just the basics. Okay, so that is a problem that leads directly to the C++ facility called constructors. So if I was going to now fix today, initialize today, I'd say, okay, today.m equals whatever today is. It looks like it's May 3rd, so I'll say 5 for May, and then I'll say today.d, and the date is the 3rd, so put in a 3, and then today.year equals 21 for 2021. Okay, so now we can print our date and we're much better off. Let me go out and compile it and run it. And, oh, wait a minute. So 5/3, that's May 3rd, but the date, year portion of the date is way off. So 21, obviously I was assuming that 2021, but you can see the problem here. It's like, does this mean 2021? Does it mean 1921? Or does it mean 0021? And I think we got that answer. And here is just the 3rd or 4th day of the month. And now another programmer could come along and misunderstand, 5, thinking we're counting starting at 0, and think that that's the 6th day of the month, and then he or she would be using this structure incorrectly, and they'd have to go figure out, how do we use this structure? And so C++ has ways of helping in those areas. But for this first one, for initialization, wouldn't it be great if here, when we declare today to be a date type variable, wouldn't it be nice if we had a way to automatically initialize without forgetting? Okay, so that'll be the subject of the next video.